Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube. I'm Lydia, and today we're going to go over the new navigation launch. It's the layered in launch. Dare I say, I have not been this excited for a navigation launch in a really long time. I don't know if it's the styles or the colors, but it is so perfect. So I'm so excited to show you guys. The launch is going to be this Saturday, so tomorrow, January 31st at 7 a.m. PST or 10 a.m. EST. Now you can stack for the first 24 hours the code layered20 and Lydia, which is my code and will support me, to get 30% off your entire order, and that includes all the new items. So it's for the first 24 hours only. It won't show it on the site. It will be applied at checkout. So don't miss out on that if there are pieces you want to snag. As always, I will also be running my own private giveaway, so $100 navigation gift card if you choose to support me. Just DM me your orders on Instagram at Lydia Duisberg and I will enter you into my giveaway. Tag me in your stories. I love to see what you get. And without further ado, let's get into it. So in terms of sizing, I am 5'2", I'm about 128, 130 pounds. My bust is a 32C, my waist is about 20, I think it's 26 inches right now. And then my hips are like 39, 40 inches around my glutes. I will go over everything in terms of like what I chose for sizing piece by piece. So let's go. So I think I actually have almost every single piece that is launching. And if I don't, I've seen it because I was just there. I've seen it, I felt it. And I can give you a pretty accurate description of what it is, but I think I have almost everything. So I've got the catalog right here, which I will be referring back to, but let's start with a new item. It's the Aera Flare pants. I'm actually wearing them. They're gonna come in Velvet Port, which is this color that I'm wearing, and it's so nice, and Dark Roast, which is this color. So these two, and they also pair. Something I love about this launch is every color pairs beautifully together. So you can snag anything and it will mix and match. It's very tonal, which I appreciate. So these are in that same Aera material that we got in the straight leg last launch, but I actually feel like they're better, like all around, including the straight legs. So we'll get into it as we get to that item, but they are a flare. They have no front seam, so no camel toe. They just have a seam around the waist. They taper in. The way it kind of dips down instead of going straight across is very, very, very flattering. So I love that. And then you've got your navigation logo on the back, and then you have your glute contouring, the seams that dip down right there. Otherwise, they are a flared pant versus a straight leg pant. And their material is very brushed. So if you haven't tried the Aera material, some new materials that Navigation is doing are the Aera and the Solace. Solace is like the top I'm wearing. It's lighter. It's almost like more performative. And then the Aera material is more brushed. You can easily like lounge around in it. I just finished a Pilates class this morning and it was excellent for that, running errands in. You could wear it to the gym. I'm not sure if it would be like my first choice, but it is quite a versatile material. And then the Solace, like I probably do a ton in it. So yeah, these are the new flares. This is Dark Roast and this is a Velvet Port. They are high-waisted, seamed, light breezy. They do feel very comfy on. Something I really, really appreciate about them is, if you know me, you know I am a massive Honor soft motion fan, but sometimes, and I feel like I've had this conversation with people, the material around the kind of like groin, crotch area can bunch and be uncomfortable, and this one doesn't, especially on the flares. It just stays out of those areas. So it's very, very, well, not stays out, it is where it should be, but it's very comfy. I don't notice it like riding up and then like kind of feeling like uncomfortable and tight in that area. So they're so comfy to have on. I've had them on all morning. The waistband is double lined. The rest of the pant isn't, but it is a it's not thick, but it is a thick enough material that it will be completely squat proof in the colors it's coming in. And then you can see here, the material does have like some give. I ended up taking a small in these just because I opted for comfort. I was still figuring out my sizes last time the Aera material dropped, and I feel like I could be in between, but because I'm wearing them more for like Pilates and like comfort, I did a small, and they're not too big at all. I just probably wouldn't size down in them. I would either stay true to size, or like if you usually like a very compressive fit in something, maybe even think about sizing up if you're very, very in between sizes in this material. There is one thing I do want to mention because it will kind of benefit like tall girls and short girls. You'll think I'm really hilarious, but I actually had to cut the bottoms on these because I did size it to a small, so with that I got extra length, and I am a shorty. I feel like if I ordered extra small, I probably wouldn't have had to do that, or if I did, maybe I would have had to take less off. I have the pair I'm wearing, which I've already altered. Story of my life. And then I kept the pair in the dark roast to show you what the actual length is on me. But as you size up, you will also gain length. I know that everybody is into like the straight leg nowadays, but I feel, and I am too, but I feel like flares are so flattering. Like they just, they give your hips some curve and then they taper in. So you still look really slim, which I love. All right, so here are the Aera Flares. And these are the ones I've cut to the right length, just so I can wear them instantly. But nice high waistband, no V, just like classic, simple, the dip down I was talking about. And then nice and flattering on the glutes. So I feel like they just hug in a very nice way. And again, what I was talking about is the material doesn't feel like it bunches up into here as you're wearing them. It feels like it just kind of like stays where it is. Okay, and then here's the dark roast color. Stunning. So, super flattering from the back. For reference, they are longer on me. So that's what the small is on a 5'2". I think I cut like that much off, and I'll probably just get them hemmed, although they do fine actually cut as well. So story of my life, but they are good for all the average girlies out there, not just like the small ones. Oh, so good, so good. Okay, so now we're moving into the Aera straight leg pant, which is also coming in the exact same colors. So the velvet port and the dark roast. These ones though are still high-waisted, but unlike the flares, they have a crossover waistband, which is super flattering. I sized up to a small again in these. I feel like I'm very in between sizes in the Aera material, less in the flare. I feel like I could size down for maybe like my waist and hip area, but not my quad thigh area. But because the straight leg has like a little more area in the leg, if you are in between sizes, I would say go with your like bigger size if you want more comfort. Go with your size or your smaller size if you want maybe to use them a little more in the gym or like for performance, so that you're not feeling like maybe they're sliding down. But they're that same Aera brushed material, kind of have that give, and then they have the navigation on the back with the dip down glute contouring, and then like I mentioned, obviously the name. These ones are a straight leg all the way from the top to bottom, which love a straight leg. I find the waistband very, very flattering. Maybe if you don't love a cross waistband, stick to the flare, but I do love that we actually have both options this launch. So I feel like we're just gonna keep seeing more variations and more options on these styles, which I'm very, very excited for. So yeah, coming in those two colors, it honestly feels very brushed and buttery, and it's giving almost like a slightly thicker, not by a lot, but like Lulu Align kind of feel. So if you need a reference because you've never tried Aera, that's kind of what it is. All right, so crossover waistband. It's so comfy. I don't really feel like it slides down that much either when I wear it. So straight leg. Again, I will have to cut these because they are longer on me. Back. So you get the little dip down on the glutes. We are going to go into our viral contour seamless leggings. These became a favorite for me last launch, just because I love a little hidden scrunch. Who doesn't want to flatter the glutes even more? So they made their debut last launch. Now we get them in velvet port. Again, because it's that contour material, they are like more heathered or marled. I don't know what you want to call it. They still have the famous quad swoop contouring, the glute contouring with that little scrunch. You can see it, but once it's on, it really disappears. It just creates like just a little extra shadowing, which I'm personally here for. I barely even notice it. Like, I don't really feel it. It doesn't bug me. High waistband. So if you are a shorter torso girly, I'm sure you're no stranger. I just roll mine down a little bit. And then this is the heathered version of velvet port. So if you are matching it to a top, whoop, ugh, that is kind of like what it's gonna mix and match as. Otherwise, I've found these to be very squat proof. I stuck to my usual extra small in case we have any like OG people who are super curious about like the softness and the stretchiness. I feel like it's kind of similar to last launch. So if I show you, like, they're stretchy, but I feel like they still have maintained like a little bit of that coarseness, like to touch. I feel like this is an ongoing debate. I'm very happy with like how they are. But if you weren't and you felt like they are still like too soft for you, they're very similar to last launch. So keep that in mind. I personally do love them because I find them very comfy and flattering, and they still like hug in the proper spots, but it's an ongoing debate. The viral leggings. And then this is the true height if you are a high-waisted girl. This is not a new item, but it is one of my favorites. And I think that everybody and their dog have been waiting for this color. So the iconic seamless flares, which launched last neutral November, are restocking finally. Unfortunately, not for the tall girls yet. So if you've tried them and you know they're too short for you, hopefully we'll get a tall in the taupe color soon. But if you did not snag these and they have been on your list, now is your time. Do not miss out. My favorite color in these. They are so flattering. What they do to the glutes, I will never comprehend, but they are, again, that contour material, completely seamless. This is the back, and no front seam. Now I do find the waistband on the iconic flares a little bit shorter than on the leggings. So I wouldn't say that they are a true mid-rise if you actually compare a navigation mid-rise item, but to show you, I have lined the bands up and they are a little bit shorter. So if you do have a shorter torso, I don't have to roll these down. I actually love the height of these. Do yourself a huge favor. Do yourself a favor and snag these. I feel like we've seen them on, so I'm not gonna try them on, but I will show you. This is definitely one of my favorite shoots I ever did, but these are them on. This is the taupe color. They leave me speechless. You need them. That is all I'm gonna leave you with. Okay, so I'm gonna cover these two items kind of at the same time because they aren't new items, but the breakthrough seamless leggings and the breakthrough Stunner Halter Bra. They are not new items to Navigation. They are coming back in taupe. If you missed out on that, it launched earlier this year. So I actually have the taupe in the shorts to show you just for reference and for the pattern, but these two are a little bit on the more mid-rise. Not are, they literally say they're mid-rise. So these are more mid-rise, but this is the pattern of them. And this is the taupe color. Now, these are quite, I don't know, they're not controversial, but like, I just wear a nude thong under and I'm good to go. If you stretch this material to the max, I've shown this so many times, these, it's kind of hard to see here, but these little areas tend to not fully shear out, but it definitely has your mind questioning, like, is that skin, is that the pattern? So if you are not comfortable with that, maybe steer clear of it. I personally am, like I said, I just wear a nude thong and it's never bugged me. I take an extra small in the bottoms, and I've actually ended up sizing up to a small in the halter, which I cannot find where I have put it. But here is the halter, it's coming in. Here is the halter. And I will say something. I didn't get the color Velvet Port, which is the new color launching this one. And I was kicking myself when I saw it in person. It is beautiful. It is rich, it is dark. It's almost like a little bit darker than this. And it's so gorgeous. Like, I think you can kind of even get a little idea. I'm sure you guys have seen the catalog, but it's just so beautiful. So if you are a breakthrough fan, I would almost get Velvet Port over taupe. I just couldn't stop staring at it, so I might even snag it. But it is very, very comfy. I do love the way this style flatters the glutes, and the bra is that halter that I showed you. So I did end up sizing up. Usually I'm an extra small in all Navigation bras, but I sized up and it's not a huge difference. So I would say it's true to size, or if you find it like pulls a little on the neck, because the neck is not adjustable, it pretty much is like the halter and it has like an elastic piece around the neck. Or if you have a wider rib cage, you could size up comfortably and it won't like gape or not work. So keep that in mind in terms of sizing. But yeah, breakthroughs coming in Velvet Port and restocking in taupe. And now let's move on to the Solace open back tee. This one was a first last launch. It's kind of a play on a style Navigation's done in the past, but it's in this new Solace material, which, like I said, I really love the Solace material. So here is it in Velvet Port. It's coming in Velvet Port and it's coming in Dark Roast, which is this color again for reference. And then it's also coming in Winter Blush, which is actually this color that I'm wearing. I love the way these tones match. But it is a higher neck tee. It has an open back like so. It's really, really flattering on the back. Not too tight on the arms either. I was worried that I was going to need a small for the arms or maybe the rib cage, but I did stay true to size, and extra small fits perfectly because you also don't want it to be lifting or gaping. And it does have a built-in band around the bust. It's a very thick, comfortable band. And then the back is just the material. So it's not a band, but it sits really well. It's very comfy. And I am a big fan of this top, actually. It does have removable padding if you're not into that. And then it is classified as a medium impact bra, which I would say is pretty accurate. I wouldn't be running in it, but because it is like a full t-shirt and has that thicker band, you definitely get a little bit more support than some of the other bras launching this launch. The sun really just came out, but here is the tee. So again, this band is really perfect. It's not going anywhere. Next up, we have the Solace Jacket, which launched for the first time last launch again, and I immediately just had to get both colors. So it's coming in Velvet Port and Dark Roast. For me, this is like a no-brainer. So here are the two colors, and it's got a zip. It's full length, but it's not gonna hit you. unless you have a really short torso, like way too far down on the hips. I feel like it really hugs in. I went with extra smallness. I got a small last launch and I just had like a little too much material up here. So small fits perfectly. It almost, it's a very barely there feel once it's on, which I absolutely love. I'll show you just the detailing of the zipper up close, like detailing down, oopsie, down the front right here and down the back. That really just like accentuates your waist. It has zip pockets. And I've said every single time I put the Solace jacket on that I think it's probably one of my favorite jackets on the market, and that says a lot because there are a lot of jackets like this, but it's just the material. It does show sweat, so if you have an issue with that, good luck finding one that doesn't, because I still haven't. But it dries really quickly and you don't feel like you're like sitting in the sweat. Like, you know, sometimes how like, you know, you have sweaty armpits and it just feels damp and heavy, like it's not drying. This feels very quick drying, and dries very quickly. So I instantly had to snag both colors. Another top pick for me this launch. So zipped all the way up. I don't get that bunching that I did in the small, and hips right at, pretty much at my hip bone. Moving into the Muse Bra, I think I got it in every color because I like it so much. So this actually is not a new bra. It did launch last time. However, we hadn't received them in time. So I didn't have my full thoughts on it, but when we received it, I love it. If you have a larger chest, it might not be for you just because it's a lot. Like I'm wearing it right now and the girls are girling and I'm a 32C. So if you are looking for something that will provide more coverage, maybe steer clear of this one. If you love a daintier bra, I love it. The straps do not dig in. They are very dainty, and then it crosses in the back. They are adjustable. It has removable padding. This is a band all the way around to provide some extra support. And then you have your Leggings logo on the back. So this color is called Cashmere. So it's coming in cashmere, it's coming in velvet port, and then it's coming in this winter blush color that I'm wearing. I find it really comfy. I've worn it for a handful of leg days. I worked Pilates today and I'm not like running to take it off, which I adore. I think it's also really cute, layered, really cute. And it also looks really good with the shrug as well. So if you want a little lift or you want something a little daintier, you just want to feel a little, honestly, I'm just gonna say a little sexy, I would say go for this. They're saying it's a low medium impact bra, which I kind of understand where they're coming from. I would say it's definitely on the lower side in terms of it doesn't provide coverage. So if you're bouncing around a lot, it's a low impact bra, but I still feel quite supported as someone who has kind of like an average chest. So I don't feel like I couldn't do nothing in it. As I said, I've trained in it before. But yeah, love, love, love this bra. It does not dig in. It's hot. I did take an extra small in this bra. Also say I find the sizing pretty consistent across all the colors, because there is one bra that, I don't know if it was my batch, but we'll get to it. All right, so here's the Muse bra in that winter blush color. So I like how I don't feel like you're getting spillage because it does come up to a good point on the side, but it's also not digging in. And then these straps don't feel like they're digging in either. And they're adjustable. So if you need to loosen them up a little, that's lovely. The band, shorter line, obviously quite booby if it's not for you, you know. But nice V neckline, which I think is super flattering. And then the back. Okay, so here's an item that I actually don't have. I didn't order because I pretty much selected every single item from the launch because I loved it that much. And then I had to backtrack because I couldn't get it all. But it is the Solace mock neck tee. So I did see it in person and I do love it on people. I just didn't grab it because I was trying to be practical when I placed my order, and when I think of like my activities I do and like my personal style, it's not probably gonna be the first thing I grab. That being said, I think it looks fantastic on everybody I've seen it on. So it's this Solace material again, which is just performative, light. It feels barely there. It's very stretchy. It's got a mock neck. It is seamed. Fabric definitely hugs you. And if I had ordered it, I would have gotten it in an extra small, but it is coming in winter blush. So the light pink, this color, and then dark roast. So this color as well. But if that is your style, just don't have something bad to say about this launch that I've noticed yet. I really like it. Okay, next up we have this Solace Shrug. And I'm a Shrug convert now. I actually was super pleasantly surprised by it. So here is the Shrug on. If you're a Shrug girl, like, I feel like it's a no-brainer. It's the Solace material again. It's double lined, I think, throughout. See the sleeves. So the sleeves aren't double lined, but the piece itself is, like the body piece, and then you've got your navigation logo right here, coming in velvet port and dark roast, so the darker of the two neutrals. I think I just love anything Solace at this point, but it also again layers really well over the other bra styles. And I actually love, I'm wearing it on my last Instagram post, that it kind of turns, if you wear it like with its matching bra color, it kind of turns it into a long sleeve like bra top. So I love that you can either do tonal or kind of change it into like a whole different look. And then yes, it does sit in your armpits. It doesn't cut you off at all. And I was shooting in it for 2 days and sweating, and like, I like that your armpits breathe. So I'm a Shrug convert, and I just think, like I said, I back anything Solace. So, and I did take an extra small in this. Here is the Solace Shrug on. So again, a nice option if you have very sweaty armpits, or if you just want like to change the vibe of the outfit. It's super girly. Again, it hits perfectly, in my opinion, into the armpit area. It's not digging whatsoever. It feels really, really lightweight, and you're not fighting with it, which is what I really like. And then here it is from the back. And then I just wanted to show it to you with the Muse Bra too. So if you aren't quite into that V-neck look, here it is, just like tone on tone as well. Okay, let's take a moment about probably one of my favorite pieces. Like favorite pieces. It is the Solace Wrap top. So the top that I am currently wearing, so flattering and such a good material. Ties in the back. I obviously got it in both colors because I knew it was going to be so good. So it's coming in velvet port and dark roast. I'm an extra small in it. This one is not double lined. It's just like a single lined all the way around. Very stretchy, very comfy. I don't want to say, dare I say sweat wicking? Again, it just dries very quickly if you do sweat in it. So if you get one thing, please get this, if it's your style. I love that it gives like Pilates, ballerina vibes. I would even probably go as far as like wearing it with an actual outfit. And that actually goes the same with the Shrug too, because I had one of the bras on with the Shrug and I put like a pair of army pants on when I was in Tampa, and I was like, wait, I'd actually wear this. It's really cute. So don't sleep on the Shrugs and the wrap top, depending on what kind of girl you are. And you can honestly like wrap it like a little lower if you want more length and you want the bra to show more. You can also wrap it a little higher if you want it to cover the bra and give you a little more of like a mid-length look. But I just think it's so flattering where it sits and how it wraps. It's the perfect amount of material too. I don't feel like I'm like fighting with the material, but here it is unwrapped, and then just tie her around just to show you. And then it's very, very easy to adjust it to how you want. And then here is how it sits, the little bow in the back. Okay, so I actually can't remember if Navigation's done a bomber jacket. And if they have, it's been a really, really long time. But we got the Strata bomber jacket in the color cashmere. And here it is. It's honestly like the perfect spring jacket, or if you're in Florida and it's cold right now, probably be nice to have. But it is like, they call it a Sherpa inner lining. To me, it feels very just like fleecy, which is lovely. Maybe a little bit warmer than if it was just like this like nylon-y bomber material. It is a slightly oversized fit. I did a small in it and it's perfectly oversized. I think it's a really flattering cut. It's coming in one color, and then you've got your Navigation logo in it right there. It's your classic kind of like a bomber neck, and then you have the same around the waist and the cuffs. I just think it's a really perfect jacket if you live in like a mild climate and you get cold easily, or if you live in a cool climate and like it can go into like spring, or depending on where you live, even like a summer night. Like, it definitely isn't a summer jacket, but it's quite versatile, which is what I really like. I feel like it could adapt to different climates depending on what you need. And again, it goes with all of the colors. Like when I went to my Pilates class this morning, I was wearing this and then I threw this on top, and I just felt so put together. The details, so the zips on the pocket, and then the pockets aren't lined, they're just nylon. Bomber jacket. Getting into a bra that launched, if it wasn't last time, it was the time before. It was the Muse Bra. It's this guy. Oop. But it was actually my first time trying it, and I really like it. So it's coming in dark roast, which is the darker neutral, velvet port, which is this guy, in cashmere. I wear an extra small in it. However, if it was, I'm not sure if it was just my batch, but from what I've noticed, the velvet port to me, it just felt like a little stretchier, and I just felt like it like lifted well, but it didn't feel like it was squishing me down. And just from like my very first impression trying on the cashmere color, I feel like it fits a hair smaller. Like, I'm got extra small in both, very happy with extra small in this. I can wear this 100%, but if I was a customer, I probably would exchange it for a small. I don't know what happened there, because I think, let me see. Yeah, if I line them up, they're pretty equivalent. It's just maybe the dyeing process made one a little bit less giving than the other. So keep it in mind. It is in that Aera material. So it's in that very brushed material. And so is, I don't know if I mentioned it, but so is the Muse Bra. They're both the Aera material. And they layer so cute under here if you don't want as much cleavage as this one. This one is more straight across and would peek out a little bit more, and layers really well with the shrugs as well. So I actually really like this bra. It definitely surprised me. Removable padding, not adjustable, so you definitely want to like be more aware of your size. And then there isn't a band on the bottom, so make sure, again, it's kind of like you have to make sure you get the right size because you don't want it to be too big. But I will say, lifting my arms, it doesn't ride up, which I really like, because I think another company, and I won't say who did it, did a similar cut in the past, but they made it too narrow, and just, it wasn't designed well enough that when you would lift your arms up and down, it would ride up. And this one also is cut high enough that you're not like teetering in between the top and the bottom. So it's more so if you got the wrong size, it will just compress you more. All right, and then last of the new items, we have the lift shorts. Lift shorts have easily become a favorite of mine in terms of the navigation shorts. They're only coming in one color. It's this velvet port color. Again, it's a little more heathered versus the solid velvet port. I wouldn't classify it as a mid-rise, but I would say they are shorter than like the viral leggings. So if you take a look at the waistband comparison, if you've never tried them, there it is. I actually prefer this waistband over the viral in terms of like height. And I find it does, if you are struggling with the pro material or contour material being too stretchy or too soft, these have a little more grip and grit to them, but are still very, very comfy. So if you're maybe off of the contour train right now, just due to the softness of the material, maybe try lift. Again, very stretchy, but they have more stiffness to them. I'm an extra small in them, and they have this kind of like change in texture. I've shown it in the past, but this looks really silly off. It is like this pocket to lift your glutes. It's not an intense, insane lift like some other shorts on the market. Like some of the Buff Bunny ones and stuff, they just compress so much that it's just like kind of weird. But they do it there in a very subtle way. There's no scrunch, but they don't give you a unibum either, which I really appreciate. And then in the front, they also have that change of texture. Specifically on this color, you really can't tell the textural change. They kind of just look like a heathered short, which I actually love personally. And then the navigation is in the band. For me, lift shorts are a top pick. I love that you can kind of like pull them as long as you want or up to the height you want. And I find once I get moving, they stay where they're supposed to be. So they don't roll. And if there's one tighter short that I'll run in, because I tend to like to run in a looser short, it's the lift short, because like they don't roll, they don't come up. And once you're sweating, they really just like stay in place. So these are also a favorite of mine. So now let's get into some restocking items. Now, I just want to premise this. Navigation is taking into consideration all of the feedback. It's hard to restock everything all at once. So that's why you're getting like some taupe iconic flares this launch. We got some restocks last launch. I know it's small, but it is happening. It's like, just be patient. They are restocking like little by little every launch. So these are all items that I'm going to go over right now that are restocking in black. So we've got the sports seamless leggings restocking. These are very true old school navigation. They have that classic, I'm sorry for the glare, they have that classic like big navigation waistband, and they tend to be a thicker sweat wicking kind of like silky-ish material. They're seamless, and that waistband really snatches you in. So I usually do extra small in leggings. I'm 100% a small in these last time I got them. Then you also have these solid seamless leggings. They're high-waisted, seamless. Those are a little bit on the silkier, stretchier, sweat-wicking side. Same high-waisted, compressive waistband, but a good like staple solid black legging if that's what you're on the market for, or if you love solid seamless, they're coming back. They're also restocking the solid seamless shorts. So exact same profile that I just described, just a black short. And then we have the effortless flare leggings restocking too. So we've had these launch in the past. They're high-waisted, they're seamed, they're completely like a second skin feeling. They're very stretchy. I'm an extra small in those. And they're kind of meant, honestly, for like everyday or errands. I find them a little too silky to do like for my preference for my gym workouts, but these are them. They have no front seam, but they do have a seam down the back. And then you have the signature 2.0 leggings restocking as well. So seamed high-waisted, silky buttery soft, no front seam. And if you are in the market again for just a plain pair of black leggings, those are for you. I feel like a lot of people like the signature or the solid seamless, and like they wait for the restocks. So they're restocking signature 2.0 shorts as well. And then just a reminder, these are all black restocks. So that is the layered in launch. If you've gone through this whole video, thank you for staying with me. Just a reminder, the launch is Saturday, January 31st, 7 a.m. PST, 10 a.m. EST. You can stack on all items the code LAYERED20 and my code Lydia, which will support me, but that will save you a total of 30% off all your items. So if you do it within the first 24 hours, 30% off. If you do it after 24 hours, my code will get you 10% off. But either way, please let me know if you use my code. Send me a DM so I can enter you into my giveaway. And I just love to thank everybody personally. So tag me in your orders, send me your orders. I want to see what you got. And thank you so much in advance for the support and for staying for this video. I hope it was really helpful, and I will see you next time.